So as we look at the Steelers specifically, they got to get to 53 by tomorrow, but they look like they're trying to form a philosophy. Specifically, Arthur Smith. His resume includes his time in Tennessee when he ran the ball down everybody's throat with Derrick Henry. He looks to be trying to do some of the same things. And Charlie mentioned earlier in one of our shows that this team reminds him of the 2005 Steelers with what they want to do, is at least offensively, and what their philosophy is defensively. What say you, Coach? Do you see some similarity between this 2005 and the way that Arthur Smith, Coach Tomlin want to approach this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think I go back to the 2005 team. You remember Bendis is coming off his rookie year, so he's now in his second year. He's comfortable, right? I mean, he's
Mm-hmm.
able to understand the system, but at the same time, we were kind of built when came in, stepped in to be a team that ran the football. But we let him grow as the season went along. And I see some of the things that Charlie's talking about. Now, the one thing that we had at that point was a pretty established offensive line. And Trey, you were part of that because you were backing up at the time Marvell Smith. And so it was an experienced offensive line. And we kind of were built around that, whether it's be run the football, play action, and certainly the comfort that Ben had. And he also had the ability to get out of some sticky spots if he needed to. But we were talking about we wanted to be able to be a team that was going to be able to run the football. We threw early to run late, but we could finish and close games. This football team, the only thing I've seen, and Trey, you've watched these guys probably more than I have in this preseason. It's the offensive line, and this is a young offensive line. I think the more they can stay together, as you know, continuity is a huge part. No other position in offensive line, in my opinion. Those guys are talking to one another every day. You're in that same room every day. You're having to make adjustments in the course of a game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whatever the kind of stunts are taking place, you have to be in sync with what you're doing. It starts with the center. I think they've got a great center, two young tackles right now.
Right.
And I think that's going to be a big key is how can they mature? And I think if Arthur can run the football early, use those tight ends, use the play action, let Aaron grow into this offense. Because Aaron, I think he gets in a rapport with DK and Roman and Calvin, whatever he needs to do and develop the tight ends. Jonnu Smith can do a lot of things from a matchup standpoint. There's a lot of possibilities on that offensive side of the ball. They have not played together in a games-like situation right now. So let them grow into this offense. And the best way to grow into this offense is having a nice run-oriented offensive line and run the football with Arthur. Let that defense take care of the early part of the season, and maybe the offense can help them later on.
Which kind of leads me – I'm sorry, CB.
No, go ahead.
Kind of leads me into my next question I wanted to ask. Does that philosophy, with the way that the NFL has evolved, with everybody concentrating on five wides and spreading the field out, does that style of ball still work? The 2005 ground and pound, play action, win with your defense, does that still work in today's NFL? I know last year we kind of saw with Philly and Saquon Barkley having the top two rushing offense. Does that still work?
Well, I think I'll say this is I think if you look at how many teams have kept a fullback on their football team this year as opposed to last year, half the league right now has got a fullback on their team. Last year, I think it was a third of the league. So I'm just saying to you that right now, when you look at what Philly does, and we're in a copycat league, you look at how long the season is, it's not sustainable to be able to put your quarterback in a position where he's have to make plays and throwing the ball 30 to 40 times a game because he's going to take some hits in doing so. So having a degree of balance in what you're doing, having a degree of taking that pressure. And sometimes when you run the football, when you're able to run the football, you're limited to snaps in a game. And a limited amount of snaps in a game reduces the risk of injury to your football team because health has a large part to do at the end of the season with the teams that continue to move on. So I go back to the same thing. The game is cyclical. Whether you're doing what we did back in 2005 and even in 1995 when we went to the Super Bowl with Neil O'Donnell and Cordell Stewart was playing receiver, we were playing five wides. We were doing some things back in that time. But the bottom line is we also had balance with what we did. We had a run mentality, but we also were creative with some of the stuff we did. So I wanted teams to get ready to know that we're going to smack you around a little bit. But we're going to open this thing up early. I said we used to throw early to run late. We got to score some points too. Running the ball doesn't always necessarily mean you're going to score a lot of points, but we could close games. And that's the one thing I want us to be able to do. If we get a lead, we're going to milk the clock. We're not going to beat ourselves, and we're going to impose ourselves on you in the fourth quarter of a football game.